Welcome to Marketplace Finds, where we show off some crazy and interesting cars for sale, judge what we think of the price, then order it in our tier list.
It's just one of those days.
Now this right here is what happens when a Civic gets left in the desert too long and starts adapting to survive. It got left to fend for itself and has come back with a full beard and a deeper voice. There's an exhaust pipe poking through the hood like it's smoking a cigar. It lost its face fat, by which I mean the bumper, and now it's got a chiseled jawline. The right front fender has been replaced but left a permanent scar on its face. It's got dents everywhere and the front left window doesn't even close properly, not to mention it's grown a few inches with the mud tyres. This car has been used and abused so badly it should probably be shipped back to the Japanese countryside to live out the rest of its days in peace. Inside it, shockingly still has carpet and no tears in the seat. Only the door card has been removed and placed in the back seat. In the engine bay, you'll find a tidy factory Honda motor. It's not zip tied together or loose wires everywhere. This Civic was owned by a mechanic, so it has probably been kept nicely. They want $650 and has already been sold, unsurprisingly for a price like that.
Give me a hell yeah!
Alright boys, welcome to the moment where evolution just gave up. You're looking at a 2021 Can-Am Defender that's been modified so heavily either a redneck won the lottery or cashed out of their moonshine business. This thing is jacked up so high you need a Sherpa and 2 spotters just to climb in. The suspension looks like they were engineered by Lockheed Martin, and check those tyres out. There are less tyres and more agricultural implements used for field tilling. Now the elephant in the room, the sound system. It's not a stereo, it's a mobile trauma centre for eardrums. There are more subs in the bed than at a Quiznos. You've got speakers in the ceiling, speakers in the doors, and speakers aimed at your spine. Literally so many you could be legally deaf before you even hit reverse. We can't forget the purple underglow so bright it could resurrect Tupac. It really is the final boss of the Louisiana mud pits, even if it looks like it hasn't seen an inch of mud before. The seller has it listed for a huge $52,000, and let's be real, although this guy has probably spent close to $50,000 in mods, there's no way they're getting that much for it now. What you're looking at isn't your average 4th gen Camaro. Once a sleek F-body, this thing has been hacked apart like a body shop's apprentice went rogue, or as we like to call it, the El Trashmino. Let's start on the exterior, as almost the whole thing has been slathered in black bedliner, except for the bumper, roof and wing, because the painter could only steal a couple of spray cans before they got caught and trespassed from Walmart. But the real reason we're all here for is the custom truck conversion going on in the rear end. The rear seats are gone, the hatch has been deleted, and what's left in their place is a flatbed truck style conversion, featuring a full DIY cargo bay, lined in even more bedliner, all held together by faith, a few welds, and probably some leftover drywall screws. If you wanted a tailgate, it's got one sort of, as you can now flip up the wing, and there's even a fold down rear panel under what used to be the rear window, turning this Camaro into the most impractical pickup since the Subaru Brat. Under the hood is the 3.8 litre V6 with 160,000 miles, which in GM years puts it around middle aged, being out of shape, but still willing to fight anyone outside a speedway at 3 AM. It's got a few issues like bad brakes, some leaks, and the gas gauge reportedly has the personality of a magic 8-ball, but for only $750 you can't go wrong. Here's what would happen if Cartoon Network and Adult Swim had a drunken one-night stand and used a Mercedes as the motel room. This Mercedes SLK 55 has been wrapped in every cartoon character you can think of, from Garfield to Rick and Morty. Homer Simpson must have been first on the car, as it's the only one misdrawn horrifically. Either that or they were going for the meme-styled Homer. Then there's Daphne from Scooby-Doo, just absolutely airing out her entire undercarriage on the hood. Garfield looks like he's having a great time positioned beneath her. Also staring at Daphne is that creepy grandpa from Family Guy right beside him, like he's your co-pilot in court-mandated community service. The owner is still fighting the war against Germany by putting as much American media on a German luxury sedan. There's no interior or engine photos, and they're asking for $3,000, which is a good price if you didn't need to cover up the Daphne. But since I'd never be caught dead inside it, it's getting a clown sticker.
Brother,
You ever see a car that looks like it was built exclusively to piss off everyone on the internet? Welcome to the neon that makes a junkyard look like Pebble Beach. This is a 1998 Dodge Neon, allegedly. What's left of it has been transformed into a rolling hate crime against car culture. It's got the soul of a Craigslist misfire, the aesthetic of a meth-fueled art project, and the aerodynamic grace of a rusted-out microwave. Let's start with the paint, or more accurately, the intentional absence of paint, as most of it's been grinded off, leaving this poop brown rust and not a single panel that agrees with another. The whole front end is a literal nightmare, with what looks to be a Subaru Outback bumper zip-tied onto the actual bumper for some extra visual aids. And then there's the shopping cart on the roof. Yes, an actual shopping cart bolted up top like a crown of shame. It's holding a cooler, a cow skull, and a mannequin leg, because why stop it ugly when you can also be legally concerning? Under the hood, it's running a 2.4 swap out of a PT Cruiser, which if you're new here, happens to be one of my most hated cars, and this just makes me hate it even more. The seller is after $3,500, and trust me, I'm tempted to buy it to burn it down. clown, but it might be underpriced if you're wanting something that inflicts sheer psychological damage. It's getting a clown sticker, but that's also what the owner intended for it. Behold, the Daihatsu Atrai RT Limited, a red square-edged pocket rocket from 1996. This thing came straight out of Japan's golden era of automotive chaos, where the rules were simple. If it fits in a K-class and vaguely resembles transportation, make it fast, weird, or both. It's mid-engine, it's turbo, it's rear-wheel drive, and it's probably faster than your cousin's rusted-out Civic. From the outside, it's what would happen if you gave a Tamagotchi steroids and a full license. It's red, angry, and shaped like a shoebox that smokes other shoeboxes on the road. The RT graphics on the side are so aggressive, they look like they were pulled straight off a 90s Mountain Dew ad. Underneath this adorable beast is a 660cc turbocharged 3-cylinder shoved midship. Like this is an underpowered square Ferrari that makes just enough horsepower to get you in trouble and not quite enough to get you out of it. The seller is looking for $9,000, which is a steal, considering it's the kind of rig you roll up to a car meet in and steal attention from 100k builds. Do you like sunsets? Do you like mountains? Do you like a combination of those smeared across the side of a crusty van like Bob Ross huffed a Sharpie and passed out with a paint roller? Introducing the 1975 Dodge van that the seller claims is in decent condition and starts right up while also spelling half of the words in their description incorrectly. Maybe 10 years ago, I'd consider this beast being in decent condition, but as it sits, the sad paintwork is slowly being overtaken by patches of rust and Bondo. On the front end, it looks like someone was going to repaint it, then got distracted by a squirrel, a bong rip, or both, and you can guarantee that will be rusted soon. The only part of this van that has actually held up to time is the beautiful tri-spoke rims wrapped in the classic Coopers. It makes me think how good this would actually look with some fresh paint to bring it back to its glory days. Unfortunately, we get no interior photos, which is always a big red flag on these vans because it's either a kitty kidnapper special or has a gross bed the owner's kids were probably made on. Either way, they're after $6,500 for what would be quite a cool van project, just needing a little bit of love. Here we have a 1992 Mazda Miata, or as I like to call it, the tetanus drop top. Let's start with the hood. It's not rusty, it is rust. The hood's so far gone, it looks like it was parked next to Chernobyl when it went off. Someone clearly started sanding it down for paint correction, but either their grinder caught fire or their will to live gave out halfway through. The engine is surprisingly still there, however the owner does state that it leaks just about everything, but that will fall on deaf ears as soon as a 16-year-old sees it. Surprisingly, the top seems to be in amazing condition, with no tears or duct tape visible, so that's a bonus. However, the rest of the interior is not doing so hot. The driver's seat has had its foam chewed out like a possum was nesting in it, and there's enough sun damage in here to qualify the whole cockpit for melanoma research. To be fair, the seller is only asking for $1,000 for this hoopty, and even says to bring a trailer or a prayer if you're wanting to drive it. Next up is a truck that's lower than your standards on a Friday night. It's a 1994 GMC Sierra that's been so customized, it's basically witness protection for a pickup. This thing is laid out flatter than your uncle's air mattress at Thanksgiving, bagged on all four corners with enough tank space to air up your trailer, your tires, and your lungs after seeing the price tag. As you can see, this truck opens up like some sort of cursed transformer, with every panel opening in the wrong direction. You've got the tonneau cover that's not just a cover, but a whole ass power lifted patio door, the classic suicide doors, and even the hood opens sideways. At this point, the only thing that opens normally is your wallet, and that's because the owner is looking for a massive $25,000. So if you've got deep pockets, questionable taste, it can be all yours. Earlier we had the Daihatsu Atrai K car. Well, this is also a Daihatsu produced only 1 year later, being a 1997 Hi-Jet. And as you can see, this one fits a bit more into that weird category, but in the best way possible. It's not a truck, it's not a van, it's not even really an SUV. It's some cursed triangle of all three. It's got sliding van doors, a tiny bed, but best of all, these things are 4-wheel drive. If the world's tiniest mud tires didn't give that away already. This one's rocking a 660cc 12-valve engine, which means it'll do 0 to 60 eventually, assuming you have enough downhill slope and tailwind. But don't let the tiny engine fool you. This rig is geared for crawling, not hauling. It seats 4 full-grown humans, assuming those humans have emotionally prepared for closeness. The rear bench is as wide as a yoga mat and about as supportive, but it folds up if you need extra room to haul questionable cargo or spontaneous camping gear. As a weird bonus, if you can call it that, this one apparently came from Disney World in Florida, where it was allegedly used for park maintenance, so if you have an insufferable Disney wife, then that may sway her into buying this thing. Unfortunately, the pricing on this one is a bit more extreme, being listed for $19,500, which either means K-trucks are the new Bitcoin or someone's banking hard on that Disney provenance. You're looking at a real deal 1998 Ford Mustang dad spec. This one's been baptized by fire, and it weirdly works. Who painted it? We're guessing someone who watches Pimp My Ride reruns on VHS and still thinks disc golf is a personality trait. Either that or a retired bowling alley manager. And let's be honest, the flames are kind of rad. Like, we want to roast it, but somehow it works. It's cleaner than your cousin's parole record. That paint is glossy, the panels wheels are straight, and the whole thing looks like it's been kept in a garage right next to the owner's Ed Hardy hoodie and an unopened Xbox 360. Pop inside and it is a time capsule of beige, the kind of beige you'd expect to see in a Sears catalogue, with cloth seats so clean they look like they've never even been farted in. It is automatic and probably a V6, but who cares when it's this clean? It was listed up for $4,000, and unfortunately someone else thought it was crazy clean and has already bought it. Here we have a 2003 Honda Civic that's got some of the weirdest design choices we've come across. Forget bad paint jobs, rust or dents, because we've got so much red reflective tape, like it's trying to cosplay as a safety vehicle. Either that or it's a warning for any other vehicles on the road, and we can't miss the randomly added indicators with the wiring dragging on the road. Now flip to the side and boom, a tribal panther decal leaping across the quarter panel as if this weapon on wheels makes more than 100 ponies. And don't sleep on the flares for the factory sized tyres that looks like someone tried to wide body it using leftover roofing materials. Inside, you've got tyre tread seat covers and a pink steering wheel wrap that looks like it came from the clearance bin at Dollar Tree's Teen Pregnancy Essentials aisle. The seller is looking for $1,500, and in all honesty, that's a great buy. I know it's not a JDM one, but you really can't go wrong with a price like that, and what will only be an hour of ripping off odd tape and decals. I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace when Florida decided to drop kick me in the face personally. It's called the Palm Beach Swamp Buggy, but it looks like something a redneck PhD student would weld together. This rig rides on 2.5 ton Rockwell axles and sports a 350 Chevy engine, which is about as subtle as strapping a bottle rocket to a lawn chair. It's got new paint, new seats, new carb, and according to the listing, all fluids were just changed. This thing is ready to be your new daily commuter. Sick of being cut off in traffic? Driving this thing down the road, you'll suddenly notice there is no traffic anywhere near you. On the top deck, everything looks simple enough. You could probably teach your kid how to drive in this buggy. You won't have to worry about them scratching your paint. Only seats 4, including the driver, which is a bit sad considering a Suzuki Swift could seat more. Listed for $18,000, and I have zero clue if that's a great price or not, but this would be a hell of a lot of fun to drive around. Next up is a 1999 GMC Savannah 2500, or at least what used to be one, before it got Frankensteined into a Las Vegas prom edition limousine, because nothing says luxury and wealth like an obscenely extended work van. According to the listing, this is one of 3 ever made, which is exactly how many times the guy who built this has been banned from Facebook Marketplace. On the outside, the styling is what happens when a prison bus and a bottle of whiteout fall in love, and from a distance, it looks like a refrigerated mortuary trailer. The paint is somehow both too much and not enough, and if you're wondering who hires out a limo like this, imagine a bachelor party where everyone's wearing flat-brimmed Monster Energy hats. One guy's vaping in the back with no pants on, and the bride's cousin is passed out in the cooler. Hop inside and it's nothing but leather benches and seatbelts for people who absolutely will not use them, and the world's tiniest minibar. In all honesty, it's a lot better than probably what we all expected after seeing the outside. All this can be yours for just $10,000 or trade, which probably means for something equally ridiculous, like a 2-stroke snowmobile that doubles as a grill, or a golf cart with flames. Here's how the final tier list ended up. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, if there's anything you'll change around. Otherwise, thanks for watching. You can send your own crazy or interesting car to us on Instagram. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.